What's going on, everyone, and welcome to Movie Emporium's Ending Explain of 2067. If you like what you see, of course, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell at the top to find out what's coming next. Hey, if you like any of these videos, cool. Hit the like button as well as commenting below on any video that you watch, including this one. So I wasn't originally going to do a 2067 Ending Explains. I fear it was kind of, it was kind of black and white what was going on in the movie, but people asked for it, so you know what? You're gonna get one. Okay, so 2067 is a movie that Seth Larney directed. It has Kodi Smit-McPhee, it has Ryan Kwanten in it, and it's a movie that is very much about saving the Earth. It's a movie about the sins of what we are doing to the planet itself, and it's about how we should look into our own selves and change who we are. The idea that we are not long for this world if we don't take care of it. It's also dealing with the fact that I mean, not necessarily in this situation, but what could happen if we don't take care of our planet. And yeah, it's a little in your face, but it makes a lot of sense on what it's trying to do. But this movie has a character named Ethan White, who is played by Kodi Smit-McPhee. He has a wife who, in this movie, unfortunately has a virus. She is dying. A lot of people are dying because of this virus. And they basically cough up blood. They're very, very sick. It's very much in line with the pandemic going on right now. It's a very disturbing disease in the movie as well with what we're dealing with. So, it is what it is. He's also has no parents. His father disappeared. His father actually plays an important part in this movie. His mom was killed, unfortunately, in a mugging, and he is saved by Jude, who, like I said, is played by Ryan Kwanten, and Jude ends up becoming like a father figure to Ethan's character. And basically, this movie takes place like 10 years later, and Ethan is a character that has basically grown up in the mine shafts and in this world where they're trying to basically save the earth by finding a way for O2 because there is no oxygen, or at least oxygen is toxic in this world. And the O2 is very because it's so lethal, they have to wear masks, they have to wear breathing apparatuses, which plays later on to the future portion of this film. And he is very kind of downtrodden. He is what he is because he's never had parents or anything like that. He hasn't had parents for a long time. And in the process of everything that's going on, there's a big machine that they're trying to basically turn on to create O2 natural. He is basically recruited by one of the heads of the company he's working for by a character who's played by Deborah Mailman, who plays Regina. And Regina's a corporate person. She knew Richard and stuff like that, so on and so forth. She gives Ethan the opportunity to go to the future, 400 years to the future. And we also find out the movie's similar to Stargate, where the future is sending back, or the whatever sending back stuff. And we find out there was a message sent from 400 years in the future saying, send Ethan White to us. Or just to send Ethan White, but it just send Ethan White to the future. And Ethan's really shocked by this. Why is this happening? Blah, blah, blah. And he tells his wife, and his wife's like, why aren't you going to do this? Ethan's like, I want to be here for you. He's like, how are you going to be here for me if I'm dying and you can go to the future? Because this message is basically saying there are people alive in the future. There's breathable oxygen. There's a cure. So why would you be stupid enough not to go? But there's that melancholy feel that Ethan has, with his wife. And he doesn't know if he should go, but he decides to do it. And he is basically puts on this big contraption, this big suit that's experimental. And similar to Contact, he is thrown into the future, and we see all these cool visuals, lights, and so on and so forth that you saw in the trailer. And when he gets to the future, of course, the oxygen is breathable, which is a really kind of interesting, kind of thought provoking scene because you realize once Ethan takes off the mask, it's very similar to Man of Steel with Zod's character, where he's never breathed actual true earth oxygen. He's always breathed like oxygen that's in canisters and stuff like that. So to watch him kind of go through that whole kind of conditioning of actually breathing oxygen from, the actual earth is really kind of a powerful moment. And then he's seeing, of course, thunderstorms and rainstorms and stuff like that. And it's really different to him. It scares him and so on and so forth. He has this assistant Palm Pilot that's very much like Siri that actually takes him to this door. And in this door, you can't get into it, but there is a dead body sitting next to the door. He goes over to it. He looks at the lapel. It says Ethan White. Now, this is kind of the moments where I was getting a little confused. I'm like, so Ethan White has already been here. It's really confusing. It gets into like some Black Mirror slash Twilight Zone territory, and it's not necessarily played out as well as I want to hope. But he sees the body there, and so there's a bullet hole in the body's brain, and there's also that Palm Pilot, which is not working because it's been dead, it's been broken or whatever for quite a while. So in the process, he poisons himself by eating some berries, and he sees something in the sky, and somebody administers a antiviral into his system, and it's Jude. Jude has traveled from the past because they learned that Ethan's gotten himself sick. I don't know how this is explained to him in the past. It's really weird. And Jude and Ethan go on a mission to find this cure, which leads them into this big valley area with this kind of cool, waterfall situation. And we see something very similar to Life After People. If you've ever seen that TV series, I did talk about it in my review. They see overgrowth on all these buildings. Everything is just a mess. Look at like Last of Us or something like that. Very similar to that kind of, where basically Seth Larney is saying, once people die out, the earth will take itself back and will repair itself, which is very probable because there are scientific evidence. I don't have actual scientific evidence, but there are been documentaries and stuff about it where the world is in total chaos as it is right now. But if we were to die out, it's very, very most likely. I mean, you look at there's a documentary about, as stupid enough as it is, about Disney World, where there was this water park where it was, shut down, and somebody actually broke into it and showed the overgrowth that was taken over of this park, which was really fascinating because it shows that life will, as Jeff Goldblum says, find a way. And so these two figure out there is no actual life left on this planet. Everybody is dead. It it's total sadness and melancholy. It's disastrous. What are they even there for? And it leads them to another door that they find. They open it, and there is another time machine. Now, whether that time machine is the same one that survived the 400 years, or whether it's another time machine, is not really explained very well. But they try to repair the machine. They try everything in their power to fix it, and they eventually get it fixed. And a recording opens up, and a recording turns on, and it's Richard White, Ethan White's dad. All things have been leading to this moment. As soon as Richard White, his thing pops up, we find out that not only was Jude there not to help him find a cure, but Jude was sent back to keep Ethan from going back because there is no cure. Jude, for the whole time that Ethan has known him, has been under the guise of protecting him to get to this moment. Richard, Regina, and Jude have set up this thing, but Richard doesn't go along with it, and he wants to protect his kid and his wife, so he's going to run away with them. And unfortunately, that's when Ethan's mother and were mugged, and Ethan's mother is killed, and of course Richard is killed by Regina. And we learn that Regina knows that there's no cure, that she is going to set up a way for people to go through this portal, this time machine, to this future to survive. And it's an understanding idea that people wanting to survive in a non-survivable situation. But we basically have learned that Ethan is a pawn in all of this, and we also see a recording through the old Siri-like device that Jude killed Ethan by shooting him. And it leads basically Ethan to come to the realization that everything is playing out exactly like what is happening to Ethan. We see the dead, Ethan, whatever. And he basically forces Jude to kill him, or try to kill him, and Jude ends up not killing him. They get in a fight, but Jude ends up killing himself, which almost kind of alters the whole idea of this movie. And instead of Ethan is going to try and change history. So he's going to send a message back to his father, and he decides he's not going to send Ethan White. But at the last second, he realizes why he's there. He's there to change the world, basically. So he sends the send Ethan White message, and he also he finds this flower. I think the flower is a way to not only show his wife that he's okay, but maybe a way to solve the whole crisis of the oxygen, because he sends it back. He sends a whole bunch of tree growth back. It destroys the time machine, and all the people, we see Regina, we see all these people that are going to go through the time machine, and they're going to kill Ethan and all that good stuff. And because he's destroyed the time machine, he has officially sacrificed himself from never seeing his wife again, never going back to 2067, and he is stuck here to live and die on his own. So his wife gets the flower, she realizes what's happening, and Ethan goes on an exploration and he ends up back in that big area, the big open area, and it's changed. Not only has it changed, but it has changed for the better. The world that he saw throughout this movie has now opened up, and it's a utopia. It's a world of flying cars and flying trains and people. It's a very futuristic city, and basically, what Ethan has done is found a way, maybe by destroying the time machine and saving civilization, that civilization in 2067 up to 2467, or whenever this takes place, has found a way to survive and to push themselves past the form of extinction. So, therefore, Seth Larney has set up a future that is now exciting, hopeful, and powerful, and it makes the ending of this movie, when Ethan's character sees this, as one, he's going to live out his days in a better world, but it also sets up the idea that the world is going to be good and be better off. So it's a very powerful statement in what he's trying to present. A lot of people won't agree with it, a lot of people will hate the message, but when you see what he is trying to present, Seth Larney, the director, I think it really does work. I really do. I think the idea of this character being the everyday character, the everyman, who basically got set up to go to the future to end up dying, so that Regina, who's a very atypical CEO or CFO or whatever she is, and he has done the one thing that his father knew he would do, which is save the world. And that's why sending Ethan White is so important, because if Ethan doesn't send that message, then this will never happen. And it's the whole idea of time travel. Time travel in this movie is very kind of low key, but is actually impactful and kind of smart in the way it's being presented. So I really like I said in my review, I do like what Seth Larney is being presented with here, or what he is presenting here. I think it makes it for a very powerful idea and ideology, and it shows that one person can change anything. And if everybody in this world, and there's how many billions of people, 7 or 8 billion, 10 billion people, if we come together and help save the world or try to prevent it, Tomorrowland had this message as well. It just didn't do it as successfully. But the idea was that one person can change a lot. It really can. That's really powerful in this moment. Of what Ethan White does is change everything for the better. He's like Sam Beckett in a lot of ways, I guess you could say. But you know, with that said, I'll leave it there. I hope that was an interesting explanation. I know, like I said, a lot of people were confused by it, but it's a movie that rewards you for your patience. It's a low budget sci-fi movie, so it does have some, roadblocks in its way that it tries to overcome in the best way it can. But I do like what Seth Larney is doing here, what he's presenting, and overall, I think the movie just works. So I think it's a very powerful statement on what he's trying to present. And yeah, I'll leave it at that. I hope that worked for you. I hope that was a good ending explains video. So but yeah, that'll do it. Let me know in the comments below, do you agree or do you disagree with the whole idea of what I'm trying to say. Like my other ending explains, there are differing, ideas and ideologies about what people think. Some people will disagree wholeheartedly, which is perfectly all right. So anyways, hit those comments below and tell me what you think. But like I always say, if you enjoy what you see on my channel, of course, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell at the top to find what's coming next. Hey, if you like any of these videos, cool, hit the like button, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.